Okay, hello my beautiful Inara, hello my beautiful Della. This is Walt Disney's Thumper, and the voices in there are actually going to be read. We did this a long time ago. We kept getting interruptions, somebody was very rude, but Inara read some of the characters in here for me, so when we put it together and read it, I hope it all comes out pretty good. Thumper, I guess whoever has a 20 cents is an old book one. Okay, Walt Disney's Thumper, that's from the Bambi thing. Is that focus? It looks focused, doesn't it? Okay, here we go. Friday. Okay, we go there, and this is a copyright of 1973. Okay, in a forest high in the hills lived many animals. There were opossums and foxes, squirrels and mice. Bambi, the young deer, lived there, and so did Flower, the skunk. There were many birds too, and the wisest of them all was the owl. But the largest family in the woods was the rabbit family. The mother rabbit had 5 children, and they kept very busy. There was Blossom, who had tall, beautiful ears. There was Violet, who had a bushy tail and was very shy. There was Millie, who was always so hungry that she could never get enough to eat. There was Frilly, who was very playful. She would rather play than eat or sleep. Dun, 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 dun. And there was Thumper. Training a big family of rabbits is not easy, but the mother rabbit found most of the children very good, of course. She wished that Millie would not eat quite so much, and she hoped that Violet would stop being so terribly shy. But they were all good about learning manners and obeying. All except Thumper. Well, you kind of figured this is a story about him. Sweet as he looked, he was a problem. Every morning the rabbit family would go to the meadow and play in the long, tall grass. Then they went over to the big patch of clover to eat their breakfast. One day the mother rabbit was watching her children eat breakfast.
Blossom, come back and finish your meal,
she called. Instead of eating, Blossom was looking into the pond and admiring the reflection of her beautiful big ears. Oh yes, look at that. And there's somebody else who loves the mirror too. Frilly was playing as usual.
Really, you mustn't play with that butterfly until you've eaten 2 more clumps of greenery,
she cried. Then the mother rabbit noticed Thumper nibbling at some sweet flowers. Thumper was not even touching the green leaves.
Thumper, the flowers are for dessert. What did the wise old owl tell you about eating leaves first?
Thumper hung his head, looked at the ground, and thumped his left rear foot. Then he recited what the old owl had told him.
Eating greens is a special treat. They make long ears and great big feet. But it sure is awful stuff to eat,
he added to himself in a whisper. Thumper's mother wanted him to eat properly, but that was not what worried her most. In the beautiful meadow, she could always make sure that all of her children ate enough greens. What worried her most was, he's thumping. Boom, boom. Now all of the children thumped once in a while, beating their strong rear feet against the ground. Rabbits are supposed to thump sometimes, especially when there is danger. But Thumper thumped about everything. He thumped when he was ashamed. He thumped when he was hungry. He thumped when he was angry. He thumped when he was happy. Thumper really liked to thump, but Thumper's sister and Thumper's mother did not like his thumping.
I just can't seem to help it,
exclaimed Thumper.
When something happens, I just have to thump.
One day, when the rabbit family was getting ready to go to the meadow, Thumper thumped loudly in excitement. I guess that was loud enough,
Now, this just has to stop.
cried his mother.
I'll have to punish you. Today you cannot go to the meadow with us. Just stay here alone and maybe you'll learn to control that thumping.
Thumper watched his mother and his sisters hop away. He thumped a few times. He thumped a few thumps because he was lonely. But then he thought of his friend the owl. At the base of the tall oak where the big bird had his nest, Thumper thumped as loudly as he could and called,
Hello, friend owl.
but Thumper had forgotten that it was daylight and the owl would be sound asleep. Stop that infernal noise, growled the owl, yawning. What do you mean by waking me out of my sound sleep? If you don't stop that thumping, young man, you're going to get into trouble. Now go away. Thumper was very sad. Even the old owl had always been his best friend, was angry with him. The only thing to do, he decided, was to run away from home. Maybe somewhere else he would find friends who didn't mind his thumping. So Thumper set off, hopping into the opposite direction from the meadow. He had never been very far that way because his mother had told him it was dangerous. Man who hunted in the forest with his big hunting dogs lived there. Thumper didn't know anything about man or the dogs, except that all the animals said they were dangerous. But maybe they couldn't care if he thumped. After a few minutes, Thumper suddenly heard a strange sound ahead of him. He stopped and listened. Something was crashing through the forest toward him. A bulldozer? Oh no, it wasn't a bulldozer. Thumper was frightened. So, of course, he thumped on the ground. The hunting dogs heard the thump and came running toward Thumper. And behind dogs came the hunters, racing homeward. Thumper saw a hollow log and ran into it. He thumped and thumped and thumped, and the large boom, loud boom, boom, boom. Nearby the frog was startled and leapt into the air. Then when he heard the dogs barking around Thumper's hollow log, the frog was so frightened that he jumped into a nest of pheasants.
The hunters are coming. Thumper the rabbit warned me,
cried the frog. The pheasants flew to the oak and woke up the owl. The owl shouted to the crows, and all the birds called to the animals of the forest.
Man, the hunters are coming. Run to the hills for safety. Thumper the rabbit has given the warning.
There off they go. Dun, 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 dun. So the animals and the birds of the forest fled to the hills. The hunters and their dogs tramped through the forest for a long time, but all the forest birds and animals had gotten away safely. Finally, after several hours, the hunters went home and the forest was quiet once more. All the animals returned, all but Thumper. Thumper, very frightened by the hunters, still sat inside his hollow log. The owl and the frog brought Thumper's mother to the log, and then Thumper came out. The hunters were gone, but now Thumper was afraid his mother would punish him for running away from home. And in fact, the mother rabbit was all ready to scold her son for giving her such a fright. But the frog and the owl told her how Thumper had warned them of the hunters.
If it hadn't been for Thumper and his thumping, said the owl, we would have been in terrible danger.
Then instead of scolding Thumper, the mother rabbit beamed with pleasure. And as she took her little son home, she vowed that she would never again scold him for thumping too much. All of the birds and the animals of the forest agreed with her. And now Thumper thumps whenever and wherever he likes. Oh, that's so good. My goodness, that Thumper rabbit reminds me of this one here. Peter Rabbit, when he had all his brothers and sisters. It's like the same two stories. It really is. He's got some sisters. He's always getting in trouble. So is Peter Rabbit, and the sisters are all goody-goodies.
And that is the end of the Golden Book. Thumper!
How much have you written?
I don't know, let me stop that other stuff there. Don't worry about it, we read 2 books, that was pretty good. No, don't worry, that was fine.
The second book.
Oh, that was fine, that's okay. That was good. Oh. Okay, let's go. Oh, that's it, we've read all the ones, have we?
No.